Welcome to the Jira Life, the place to find news, events, and interviews with the Atlassian community's movers and shakers. Join our hosts, Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy Nissen, as well as the Jira Amigos in the Peanut Gallery, as we sit down and discuss the latest going on in the Atlassian ecosystem. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life, the Jira Life chose us.
Hello, hello, hello.
Greetings to everybody in the Peanut Gallery, all you lovely Jira Amigos out there. I don't get to say that too often, so I gotta, milk it for what it's worth.
Yeah, we are missing someone today. Alex had a bit of a conflict, so he'll be joining us a bit later. But in the meantime, we have drafted not only our producer, but our alternate host, Bob.
Hello, hello. And we have our special guest with us. Please forgive my Polish pronunciation. It's really, really bad. The only Polish I know is punchkis and pierogi. That's that's about as far as I can get, right? At least I won't be hungry in Poland. So with us
I can confirm.
Przem Wesolka, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Przem.
Okay. All right, Przem. And he is the lead consultant and founder, owner of JAP Connect. So why don't you take it away? Tell us what you do over at JAP Connect.
Yeah, JAP Connect. So hi at all. I founded my own company. I'm now working for over 12 years on the Atlassian stuff, specialized in Jira. So the JAP, the name comes from Jira, Atlassian, and the P for the first letter in my name. And Connect is because my slogan was started JP Connecting, so I changed it to JAP Connect because I think with Jira we can connect teams, we can connect to Jira, we can connect to every thing in software, and that's how the name grows to it. We are making most of our solutions are where Jira is the focus, where we connect to, we build interfaces, connect to SAP, connect to Office, Microsoft 365, and the most fun we had if we can make some magic in it, if we can make new solutions, so to automate the process or to make anything better for the customers. Yeah.
Okay.
We are. Yeah.
So customers come to you. They often require custom integrations, say SAP to Jira, and that's where you come in and create those integrations. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, this is the thing how we work. But our customers are like all my customers I have already worked with before founding JAP Connect, so I know them, knew them before I was founding the company. So we worked together a long time ago, and it's like they come with mostly they come with a short requirement, and so we talk about it. So we're making some questions, some workshops, and from these requirements, we build this solution. So we have to take a look on the sides of this requirement, why they want to get some information from Jira, why they want to put information in there, and then this requirement always grow, and the results are maybe some interfaces to SAP or to Office 365. So that's how we are working with them.
So is it only SAP and Office 365? Or are there other ones that you have had experience with?
Yeah, we had experience with Salesforce because Salesforce is also have a very good REST API, so we can connect.
That's a big one, right?
Yeah, and the other interfaces are internal interfaces on the customer. So like a database or some machines we got. So like a Raspberry Pi on the machine. So it's connecting only with Java and sending requests with REST API. But SAP and Office 365 are the biggest one. Everybody knows them. Yeah.
So did I hear that right? You're using a Raspberry Pi in one solution to actually do the interconnect between the remote system and Jira.
Yeah, we made, but it's a long time ago. I think over 10 years ago we started with the digital book of maintenance book of machines. So each machine which don't have a network communication, we had to put anything on it. So we tested with Raspberry Pis. So we can get data from the machines and send it with the REST API to Java to create some issues, to get data and create issues for the technical users. Yeah. But this was only for machines which the old machines don't have a network interface, so we had to put anything in it. Yeah.
Sort of like an Internet of Things with connecting up an Internet of Things with Jira.
Yes.
So
right. Yeah.
I
so
mean,
okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a completely awesome use case. I know until very recently, Raspberry Pis were near impossible to get a hold of because all the industrial use cases around the world were buying them up as soon as they became available because of the chip shortage we just went through. And it was only like within the past 6-8 months that it's been where hobbyists could even get them again.
And then by that time, I think it went from Raspberry Pi 4, which was having those supply chain issues, to Raspberry Pi 5, right? I think 5 is the new hotness, if I remember right.
It is. Yeah, I've got several in my rack that I need to upgrade to Pi 5s. Just the workflows I'm using for them are still valid. They're not overloaded. So it's like, when they die, I'll replace them.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, Przem, you don't interface Jira with Raspberry Pis anymore.
No, sure not. I'm not working in this company anymore, so but we are not making it anymore. So like this, we switched to many machines, like a database. The machines were connected to a database and writing the information in the database. So Jira was only connected on the later part to this database, and that's it. So we got, like, today it's more maybe AI, we can call it, but we got no machine learning in it. So we got only the stuff the machines are writing in the database. So and today it's a little bit better if the machines are learning by themselves. Yeah, because we don't have reached this for a few years ago. We don't reach it like this. Yeah, but the Raspberry Pis, for now we are not working anymore with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I only work on Raspberry Pis on like an ever shrinking basis, only because I don't have that much spare time. So I'm really, really interested in knowing what your origin story is. How did you first come across Jira, or even if Jira wasn't your first Atlassian tool, how did you first come across Atlassian?
I started in 2010, I think, or 2009. I started making a wiki with PHP, but it was getting so huge in our company, so we got interested to Confluence. So I got in 2010 my first training by Zybat Media for Confluence, but I've seen Rodney is on the Team 24 by Zybat Media with them, but I don't know which guy was giving me the training 14 years ago, and I don't have access to my mails now to take a look at it. And then in 2.11, we started also working with Jira. Yeah, and then I started my first big project in 2.12, and it was starting with the training for Jira admin. So we started making only workflows and anything else. It was only Jira software, no service management. And I was working in it for 3 years, and 50% of my time in my job. The other 50% I was working with the machine learning stuff. That's why we created the digital maintenance interfaces. And then in 2015, I decided to go only through Jira for 100%, because it was my feeling for this journey with Jira. I was thinking about it, the journey with Jira or with Atlassian will never end. So, and this was the reason why I started to work more and more with Jira. Yeah, and then with each magic solution we have built, so it was one more reason for me to stay with Jira, because it's so much fun working with it. For me, it's Jira like a big bucket of tools, and you have to decide which tool you use for which request. So, and that's how we work. I think that's it for now. So I love my work every day. I loved it in the last 14 years every day with Jira, and yeah, that's it.
So you mentioned that a lot of what you guys have been doing is various integrations. Why don't we talk about that? What, without revealing the magic sauce that you guys do, how are some of the ways you integrate some tools like SAP and Salesforce with Jira? What are some of the tricks you're doing what are the triggers you're doing that sends information back and forth?
Yeah, really good question, because we had already made an interface in 2012 to 14 to SAP, and I will never do it like this one more time. Now we switched the way like we work. So one of the questions is very cool, because now the last project 1 year ago, I switched. If any software will give data to Jira or will get data from Jira, we are not writing any interface. We switched it like SAP now have an interface, BCI. It's called BCI, I think. You can export things from the BCI and so on. And so, like our work logs, if you have tickets and you will push the work logs to SAP, because the control room will get the data and so on, we're not pushing it to SAP. SAP is pulling on Jira. So let's say once in the night, they give Jira a REST API call and say, have you any work logs for me? And Jira say, yeah, I have it, and push it with a JSON, JSON code back to SAP, and that's it. So we switch the work around and say, we are not building a complex interface and log into SAP and put data in the deep tables in SAP. So we switched it in this way, and this is how we work. Every software is asking Jira, because Jira's REST API is very open and have very much functions. So we work like this, and this is how SAP is sending data to Jira or getting data. So we make a call, a REST API call, and Jira give us a response. And we try to make everything in the default Jira way. And if it's not possible, so we use script runner and make a REST endpoint and give them the response like this.
I know I've been doing some playing around here lately. Talked about Raspberry Pis. I have one that runs a piece of software called Node-RED, and it's actually acting as a middleware between my messaging system, MQTT, and Jira. So if it looks at MQTT and sees sensors that have specific parameters that matches what it's looking for, it'll then send off an issue to Jira using the REST API. And that's because Jira's REST API, as you said, is so open that I could just do that, where I don't have to worry about too much trying to get these things to talk to each other. If I could just get it talking to the foreign system, the Jira part's easy. I could just push that on.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to say on this point, our solutions for now are all on the data center. So that's maybe important point
We haven't hit the
for
cloud yet.
the guests. So it's all on the data center for now. I have no app written in Forge now, but we want to start this year to get some code snippets in Forge and look how it works like this. Yeah.
I know Alex is also looking to get started with Forge, so I imagine there's probably going to be a lot of talk about that next week.
Yep, I think so too. And there was actually a really recent news item that was real interesting as far as Forge and Bitbucket Cloud. That if we have time, we'll probably go through and just highlight a little bit where the evolution of that is going to be. So let's see.
So you mentioned your kind of origins in getting started with Jira and Atlassian software. Let's talk about what made you kind of make the decision. Okay, I'm kind of good at what I'm doing. I understand what I'm doing. Let's start my own company. How did that decision happen?
That's a good question.
It was. I was very happy at my work. So I have worked for so many years, and I was working for 18 years in one company, and 11 of these years I was working as an in-house consultant for Atlassian. And then I met some guys in the Jira Day in Warsaw, and I think they were more convinced about me than I was myself. And so we had we're talking very often about the business solutions, about some new apps and how we can change the business, how we can make better apps. And we have every 2 or 4 weeks we had a call and we're talking about it. So I have a few of my network, from this contact. So we are networking together. This are all Atlassian vendors. And this was the feeling. It will be a good idea to switch the consultancy, and because of my colleagues which left my old company and were working in new companies, and they had no partner. They were without an Atlassian partner, and they tried to get Jira on a higher level to use it more because they knew it in their old company where we were working together, how we worked with Jira. And they contacted me. And I had much fun with sharing my solutions. So I helped them while I was working in my own company. So and that's how I get now my clients, my customers, because they're all colleagues. I have worked with them. And it was, for me, in this point, it was very easy to start my own company because I was not supposed to make any sales and marketing. I got my own clients on the first day, and this was very easy, very cool. And that's how it's making so much fun now. So I think we have now a very good culture in the company. And 2 of my colleagues, 2 of my employees, I was working with them in my old company. So I triggered them. I said, I start my new company. Maybe they want to reach out and to take part in it. And they said directly, yeah, it's cool. We go for it. So we had no opening stuff. They can start in the first days. We knew each other for a long term. So it was very easy to get started. So let's say it's very lucky for me that it's not working this way. Yeah. And I have to say it also. I was already working in my old company where I was 18 years. I started alone with my Atlassian department, let's say for the department. And if I left, we were 5 people. So we have also get students and get employees. And so I have done it already one time, but not for my own company, for a big company. So it was easy for me now to do the same for myself. So yeah, this was my thought 6, 7, 8 months ago. Yeah, and then I decided to try. Yeah, try it out.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, and you actually messaged me not too long ago about this. You've also started putting out some content, haven't you? Primarily German language, if I'm reading it right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started, there was most of the content that was created for the Atlassian ecosystem was books. So that's the environment I walked in on. What's it like looking at the environment now and seeing all the creators and going, let me see what I could add to this? Because I know recently the Atlassian creators, I'm sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. I know they started asking for applications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what it was like to go. There's that moment we all have to overcome when we're putting our own content out there. It's like, what is what I have to say worthwhile? I want to hear about that story.
Almost like an imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So I think the question is,
Yes,
the new thing that you're trying to do is you're kind of venturing out there with how to help other people with their Atlassian and Jira problems, either by blogging like Rodney does, or by books, or by videos, or have you started on your journey? Have you come across those kind of doubts?
Yeah. I wanted to get a community leader here in the Northwest Germany, but the community is here too small, and we got already enough community leaders. So I now started to be take part in it, but not as a community leader. And now I have made a talk about onboarding with SAP and Jira. 2 or 3 times, I think, and I will make it one more time, I think, but I cannot. I think I cannot now say when and where I will do it. But I have some talks. I make them in Germany or in Europe about any solutions. So in my network, if any time there, I can take part in it. I want to take part in it because I think it's very cool to share it. And other people can use it, because if they are only thinking about it, and maybe another guy have already a solution built, and give him a short trick and say, do it like this, like switch it from the other way, like SAP will pull it from Jira, or pull Jira and get the data. So if they knew it, so maybe they can switch it, and it's working very easy. And I have a lot of fun to take part in my journey in these events, where I can talk about it, where we can make some lines on the whiteboard and build some pictures from workflows and anything like this. So this is how we are working. So I'm often the guy which stays in front on the whiteboard and making some workflows. Yeah.
So that actually kind of, you're starting to kind of describe what the Atlassian community is like there, and I was wondering if you could kind of expand on that. Having not having visited Atlassian communities outside of the United States, I know Rodney's had that chance when he went to Jira Day last year. How would you sum up the community vibe, so to speak, in Germany, and or if you've been in other parts of Europe?
It's let's start with Germany. It's very cool in Germany if you got a good network, because we have in, I think, each big city already a community, and they meet every 8 weeks, I think. So, and I'm hopping between some communities because I got connected there, and if they got any interesting title. So I talk with them. Maybe I can too. And now after Team 24, I got already invited to Berlin and to Leipzig. So it's very cool because they're connecting other communities. We are in Bremen, the community, and we now make together an online event with another community in Düsseldorf. So we put them together. We get then more participants in it. And then we are also possible to invite, like, let's say, some of you, Rodney or Bob or Alex, could take part. So more of this community guys will also see it. It's very cool to get connected with them. It's very open. So we got also the most of them are customers. Had questions to get the problems done, to get the problems solved. Our last theme was, how you have mentioned the end of server. What have you done? Have you reached out the cloud or go to the data center? This was the last theme. So that's very interesting because only 2 of 10 companies went in the cloud, and the others to data center. And in Europe, you said a Jira Day. Rodney was there. I don't know, Rodney, are you going this year to the Jira Day too in October?
I haven't been invited to come back, but if I am, I will definitely be there.
Yeah, cool. Because I will also be there, so we could meet there in person. In Jira Day, it's very cool to be there. It's a big event, 2 days. It's only Jira. It's all about Jira. And also the Unleash events are very big for 2 days in Berlin, Amsterdam. The last 2, I was on both. I don't know how the culture is in the States, but I think it's the same here. If you got a big Atlassian event, now we got on the high velocity event in Munich and London. This was also very cool. It's not as big as an Unleash event, but it's also nice to meet all the guys. You see the same guys each event, and you can talk with them 2-3 times in a year in different cities. So it's very cool.
Yeah. Sorry, you want to go ahead, Bob?
I was going to ask. Rodney, you and I are excited about what's happening next week, which means I have to ask you, Przem, are you going to Vegas next week? Or will we see you at Team?
My son has his first birthday on Sunday, so this year I can't go there. I hope the date next year will be better for me. So maybe it will be earlier in April or it go in May. So this year I can't go. I should go, but I don't go. So this year we can also already meet maybe in the Jira Day or any event between this, but I'm not going to the Team 24 this year now.
I mean, don't say you shouldn't go. You should always take time to spend with your family first. That is always the priority.
That's it. Yeah. So
Rodney's paying it. He's paying a pretty penny to go, because I think it does collide with a personal holiday that you have with your wife. I believe, right?
Yep. Monday is our wedding anniversary, and fortunately or unfortunately, we both have work travel in May. So it just happened to work out that this is the schedule we had. That being said, Saturday, if anyone needs to get me a hold of me, I'm sorry. I'm spending the entire day with my wife. We don't know where we're going yet. That's part of having an adventure.
So have you said which how many years are you now married?
This year it will be 7.
7. Yeah.
So over the hump, but we still long way to go.
Oh, Matt's pulling rank there now.
I mean, fair enough.
And speaking of somebody who is going to be late at team because of familial obligations, yes. Welcome, Andy. Say hello to Przem.
So
yeah, hi Andy.
Przem, we normally would have a longer interview, but we have some big news to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and move us a little early onto our quick Quizlet so we can get onto the big news and really dig into that. Have you watched this before on previous episodes? Do you know how this works?
Yeah, I think yes. I think I will not take too long for my answers here.
Yeah, don't take too long for your answers. You will have a chance to explain your answers. Look who's decided to join us.
Are we finishing up already?
Well,
no, we got some big news to cover that
we
you
have,
may not be aware of.
major news to cover. So
we're making
we want to
time
get
for
the
it.
quick Quizlet, and then we'll probably have. I think the rest of the hour is just going to be on this one news item. So
Right,
we got more if we need to, but yep. All right, so 5 questions. Answer each one in turn as quickly as possible, but then you'll have a chance to explain your answer. Per usual, you have not seen these answers before. So question number 1, what is the AI-based tool you have most recently used?
What do you mean with
ChatGPT or
okay.
Llama, autopilot on Tesla.
No, I think
Copilot.
I'm now I'm deciding what I want to check. If Gemini and ChatGPT, that's the both of them I'm working with here, because they're answering in a different way. So I check both in case of what I want to get information for.
All right, fair enough. All right, question number 2. Is renaming a status in a Jira workflow a fireable offense?
Can you repeat it? The question?
Is renaming a status in a Jira workflow a fireable offense? Is this something people can be fired for?
Okay, if anything is wrong in the workflow, or what do you mean with the question?
I can
just change the name of the status. They change to do to backlog or.
Okay. If somebody can get fired for this is the question.
Well, according to somebody on this show, yes, somebody. If you do that, and he's the boss, you're out the door.
So the question is, do you agree with that?
No.
Why?
And he revealed himself.
Too easy.
Well.
This question is purely to bait Alex. He does feel
that
it
one
does
is
cause
in and out.
problems.
Are you gonna ask about in and out?
No. We got other questions though. We still got 3 more.
Yeah.
All right. So next question: when you're programming, do you use tabs or spaces?
Tabs. Yeah.
Tabs?
As it should be.
No, man.
I'm just here to cause controversy.
But I'm using IntelliJ, so it's maybe if I'm writing a Groovy script, so I don't have to make anything with tabs and spaces. It's do it by itself. So.
I mean,
I'm like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like Rodney once upon a time. I was tabs, but then lately in my career 2.0, I do a lot of YAML, editing, and YAML's very, very persnickety with the indentions, and you are. It's always one space away from being correct YAML to being incorrect YAML. So
Right. So if you tabbed it, it always will be aligned.
You can't tab. It's too many spaces.
Can't
Then
tab.
you should use a different language.
Oh, you don't get the choice of the language.
Yeah, there's no choice. There's no choice. It's YAML or bust. Almost like Atlassian Access. It's access.
Oh
or
my
nothing.
gosh.
All right, next question.
Okay, now
you
they're
know
going
what
to
a
get
hot
hard.
dog is?
Yeah, sure. This question maybe I can understand it.
No, that's just to give you background. If you know what a hot dog is, do you consider it a sandwich?
Yeah. I would. I think I'd take the sandwich. Yeah, I go with the sandwich. Yeah.
Hot dog with sandwich.
You want
You're
to get your
stressing him out. He's
email?
got his little stress ball over there.
All right, last question, and then we'll get on to the big news. And I did not pick this question, but here we go. Are eyebrows considered facial hair?
Okay, that wasn't me, so.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Are eyebrows considered facial hair?
I think the second one. I think it will be the second one. Yeah.
So eyebrows are facial hair.
They should be, no? I wouldn't
I
cut
know
it
some
off.
people who want it.
I wouldn't cut them off, but they're on your face and their hair.
I've seen places now they're trimming your eyebrows, so and styling them up. So I'm gonna go with a big fat yes on that one.
I would agree. It's on your face. It's like in the freaking name. It'd be like saying like if armpit hair, facial hair. Of course not. It's not in your face.
I think Matt Dorr has the best answer for this.
Depends on the size of the eyebrow.
And whether or not it's singular or plural.
So
All
what's
right,
next?
So
what is this big news that
Jen,
I'm
we
missing
do.
out on?
Thank you for playing our little game there.
And-
now we move
and-
on to the big news.
Yeah.
We literally got this right before showtime. Scott Farquhar, one of the co-founders and co-CEOs of Atlassian, will be stepping down effective the end of August.
This makes so much sense. So much sense.
Okay. Wait. Now, making so much sense as in good riddance, or making so much sense as in you haven't been seeing much of Scott lately?
Because I don't know what we're privy to saying or not, but all the data that I'm seeing, I've been wondering for the last week or two. I've been wondering two things. I'm like, one, who the heck replaced Justine? Because I just absolutely love Justine. And two,
we all miss Justine, but yeah.
And two, I was like, where the heck is Scott in all this?
So I think you do bring up a good point now. Justine was fairly high up in the company. She has recently left. We're now seeing one of the co-CEOs leave. Is this the start of a trend? And if so, what are they seeing that we don't know?
I don't
Not
think
to get into too much trouble, but Ronnie, you and I, we are co-creators of the Jira Life.
Mm-hmm.
But we do so much so different that you always need an alpha. And ever since I've known that Atlassian has two CEOs, and I get the co-founders, right? We're always going to be co-founders, but to have two alphas call the shots for the last 20-something years, there's got to be friction. Unless the Australians do it differently than the Americans.
I won't be able to say one way or another on that. I think Matt Dorr has an answer to my question there. Not a trend. It's just time. And yeah, 23 is a long time to be leading a company.
Yeah,
And
but
I
so
think
is
that
Zuckerberg. You
if
don't
there
see
were-
him.
Sorry.
But he will
If
stay
there were ever
as
a
a board
time,
member.
Yeah.
He will stay as a board member, I think. It's written there in the article.
Yes, he will be staying as a board member and a special advisor afterwards. So, I mean, it's not like he's leaving the company forever. He's still going to be involved. But
I wasn't saying, Andy, by the way, that this has anything to do with Justine. I'm just saying Justine left, and I would like to hear who the replacement is as a separate sidebar.
But I mean,
I miss Justine.
I'm going to ask the question. Trend, not trend. I've been in a company before where we saw 5 VP or C-level executives leave within like a quarter. And we were all looking at each other asking the same question, like, what do they know that we don't? Right now it's just 2, so it's just speculation, but
I don't think it's a trend. No, I say no trend. So you're talking between Justine and Scott, there are like several executive levels
I get
in
that.
between.
I get that, but at the same time, I'm seeing the culture of Atlassian take a drastic shift than what it was when they founded it 23 years ago. And I see more friction. I see more disconnections. I see more conflicts within the company.
But I think that's going to be the same for any company. The culture of a company is never going to stay static. It's always going to change with every addition and every subtraction. So I think it really comes down to is it a good time? And I think personally for Justine, it's a step up for her to go to a higher rank at a different company, postman in this instance, and I also agree with Matt that 23 years is a long time to be at one place these days.
Zuckerberg's been doing it for 23 years as well, and you don't see anything wrong with him.
I see plenty wrong with Zuckerberg.
Like what? Look at their latest numbers. I think it blew my mind. Co-CEOs is just not a thing. I think there was a fallout. There's got to be a fallout.
I don't think there was a fallout. I think it was just time. But that being said, I do agree with Matt. I do think we'll see MCB make a similar move. Probably
I don't think MCB
once the dust settles.
I wouldn't see. I would think that I would give MCB another 5 years. And for Sean,
5 years maybe. I probably see another.
Depends, you guys not watch the news, man.
3 years seems reasonable. I'd be surprised if it's longer than 3 years. I'd probably say a year and a half. We'll be seeing a similar announcement.
Yeah, I think I agree with Bob. Yeah, I think he will take a new journey. Anything else? Anything else?
The important question we should be asking is how much money is he walking away with?
Is that really any of our business?
I'd like to know.
Well, it's not like he's like selling his shares of Atlassian at the same time.
We don't know that.
He's gonna be sitting on them for a long while. So I don't think it's like money has anything to do in that equation.
I think money has nothing to do with it. I think it's personal interest, time.
I don't think so, guys. CEOs don't leave on personal interest, man. The CEOs leave because something's brewing.
But it's not like all the CEOs are leaving.
Of any other company, just prove me wrong.
I mean, if it was any other company, yes, I would absolutely see that.
Bob just said that Atlassian is no different than any other company. The same drama that exists everywhere else exists at Atlassian.
So given your penchant for billionaires, let's bring up a billionaire. Bill Gates. He is not the CEO of Microsoft. Jeff Bezos is not the CEO of Amazon.
I get it.
Jeff Bezos may not be the best example. Jeff Bezos may not be the best example of that.
I don't think that when you reign one of the most popular and biggest companies in the world, like you don't walk out of here just because it's like being in like the mafia, man. You don't walk out of the life. Like something happened.
So you think there's drama?
I think there's drama with him leaving.
So you're firmly on Team Trend. Bob's firmly on Team Not Trend. I'm just asking the question camp.
Yeah, and then Przem, you got to break the tie. What do you make of all of this? You're the entrepreneur. I mean, you're in some ways you're like the voice of a young Alex.
But I think it's no trend now. I don't think it's a trend. So
you think he's leaving for those specific personal reasons and not something political?
No, I think for there was a fallout. I don't know if this could be a reason, but I think for personal reasons he could get more time for personal reasons and staying as a co-CEO. I think so. But it's a long time, 23 years. Maybe he want to reach out any new things because he got from the university with this idea with starting Atlassian, and maybe it's now time for him. Yeah, let's not say stay with the billionaires, but maybe he will not go to the Mars because another one is already going there. Maybe he go to another planet or anything else. So I think he will reach out anything new, maybe in the way of artificial intelligence, AI. I could think about anything in this way because maybe
if I had about money though, I guarantee you Atlassian's going in some direction and he lost the battle and he's like, I'm out.
I know for a fact that one of his big things is climate change. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's taking a step back from Atlassian to be able to do something bigger
like a Bill
on
Gates
that.
Thing, right? Isn't that what Bill Gates did? And he just went to the foundation. But he's not Gates rich.
I mean, it's enough to make a dent.
Yeah, I was going to say at that level, it's rich enough. And I know that it's Mike is the one that's actually on environmental causes, but it also looks like but Scott looks like he is looking to kind of kickstart some entrepreneurs. He set up foundations for that, and so that might be something that he wants to do and look at philanthropy as well. I mean, when you're that rich, when you're Rockefeller rich or Carnegie rich, you can't take it with you. So,
I mean, Andy brings up a good point here.
Yeah,
his wealth large enough that it is generational. He doesn't have to worry about the rest of his life, his kids' life, and probably his grandchildren's lives about money. So, I mean, most people don't stop at that point, but it's a reasonable place to stop. And say, maybe it is enough.
I'm just telling you, we're going to revisit this.
I'm sure we are. Because at some point Mike is gonna step down and we'll see who takes over as CEO.
Naturally, Anu. Who else?
I mean,
I
maybe.
don't know about naturally. I think it all depends on what sort of company the board of directors want Atlassian to be. I mean, when Tim Cook was chosen to be the CEO of Apple because he was a supply chain guy. He was a guy that knew how to make sure that manufacturing could meet up with any sort of demand.
And look at where
Their
that
whole
got
push
Apple
to move
into.
to China was Tim Cook's idea originally.
Yep.
And look at where that got Apple.
I mean, Tim Cook is no Jobs, but he's not like he's doing a bad job.
Yeah.
I think one meaningful thing that Apple has done in the last 10 years that Jobs has been dead.
$1 trillion company.
Yeah, by selling a $50 cable that I need to charge my computer with a $60 brick that doesn't come.
So
with
again,
the
whose fault is that? The people selling it or the people buying it?
I'm simply saying, man, you lose a damn AirPod, it's $80 to replace it.
People wonder why I'm Android.
Matt Dorr says he can confirm that Scott has not posted on Bookface. And Sean Doe loves the Apple hate. I love Apple as much as anybody else, but just Tim Cook he was a manager, not a visionary.
Yeah, maybe it's
sometimes to lead a company, you actually have to have managers.
No.
I know it's a terrible idea, Alex, but sometimes.
Sometimes
So
you need bean counters.
Not running a company, though.
It'll depend.
So Andy says he walks past an Apple store every day and it's always packed. And they did create a community around the product.
Guys,
having the product is a status symbol in and of itself.
I'm the biggest Apple fanboy in the room, so let me go there.
Android is for developers, not users.
There we go.
So what does that make me, Andy?
A developer.
Apparently. I'm sitting here arguing about spaces and tabs, so maybe they have a point.
I will argue I'm precisely not an Android person because I don't want to be my own IT department. I'd rather have the Apple stuff that I know will just run upon proper configuration.
I mean, I would say that, Bob, but it's not like I don't have a whole server rack right there, right off screen.
That's why you're all about Android.
In my youth, I dreamt of having my own server rack. I've gotten past those silly youthful dreams.
So I won't pretend I'm planning an upgrade.
And yes, Sean, I'm not cool enough for Android. I'm willing to accept that.
I personally walk around with both, and hands down, I'll go iPhone any day over the Android. Any day, any second.
You disappoint me, Alex. You disappoint me.
Android is
the Matt in my corner
thing in the world, man.
Maybe the one you picked.
All right. So
While coming in,
I think
kudos to Scott, regardless of the true reason.
Yep.
I mean, let's face it, that does take.
Yeah, it takes. I will say it does take guts. So kudos here to this one.
Yeah.
We wish Scott all the best, especially on August 31st when he enters that new chapter in his life. Right?
I don't think August 31st is going to be the roughest day. I think September 1st, when he wakes up and it's like, well, what do I do now?
Take over the world. Maybe I can recruit him to build the anti-Jira.
I mean, you did it once.
I go, Scott, I'm going to email Scott. I'm like, I have an idea about taking down Jira. You might have some insider information.
Supporting the server community.
Something like that.
We need something on-prem.
Let's talk about this. Yeah. Maybe that's why he left. Maybe he was like all pro, like on-prem, and Mike was like, no, it's cloud or bust.
So he's just been kind of holding it in for 3 years, and then
he's just like, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here.
I'm
gonna
out.
go watch. Next 5 years, Scott launches like Jira 2.0 on-prem exclusive.
Okay, guys. If that comes true, I want you guys to come back to this video and leave a comment.
yeah, I need to make a mark of the time.
This is totally going to be a short, Alex. You know this.
I know. You love it though. I'm telling you though, people do not walk away from these jobs. They get shown out.
I don't think so. Not at his level.
Especially at this level, exclusively at this level.
I think if Atlassian were hurting, that'd be true.
Yeah.
I don't think Atlassian is hurting.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, they're not $400 stocks anymore, but they're not hurting.
Yeah, they're yeah. It's not like they're Nvidia, but but they're still not like an IBM or a GE.
I'll never forget my CEO conversation with Andy ever in my life. All right, what's the next piece of news? Now we only have 4 minutes.
I mean, we're getting some new CI/CD features in Bitbucket Cloud for pipelines.
And this is all thanks to Forge. They've kind of tightened integration between Forge and Bitbucket Cloud. And so you can actually set up through Forge dynamic pipelines.
Cool.
Also another part of this release was custom merge checks, also because of Forge.
So how long before we have to know Forge before we can write Bitbucket pipelines?
I said 20 minutes. I said August 31st.
No,
Yep.
September 1st.
You think that's the real reason Scott's leaving is because he can't hang because he can't write Forge anymore.
I'm going to pull a Price is Right move. I'm going to bid one more than Alex.
September 1st. Well, who was on? Somebody was on the Jira live during the 24 hour. Was it Jens during the 24 hour live stream that they would still see code commits from MCB in the code base somewhere?
Yeah, that was Jens.
Yeah. So,
What's next?
All right. So if you guys are using Google Mail Server for your outgoing or your incoming mail for Atlassian Cloud, you guys are going to have to reauthorize it very soon.
Does this impact JSM?
Yeah, I believe it does.
It says Jira, but not JSM.
Well, the instructions are for
Jira.
at least reauthorizing on the Gmail side. So
yeah. All right.
Well, yeah, it could affect
looking at chat.
JSMs.
Founder code, scary.
I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna figure out a way to send an email to Scott and tell him like I'm recruiting for a company. I can use someone.
You just want him to be an angel investor?
The anti-Jira or anti-Atlassian.
Oh, that's interesting. Twitter reporter.
Yeah.
I tried it. It works, kind of.
Kind of.
I didn't like that it stacked. It didn't break up the statuses into unique columns. It still left it to do, in progress, and done, and it stacked everything that was like not done in a to do, and inside of there was my custom statuses from Trello. So I would have rather it would have recreated the columns the way Trello would have had it. But other than that, attachments came out beautifully. So kudos to that.
Scott will be at Teams. You can recruit him in person.
My objective is to
have-
take a picture with him. Oh my gosh! Did you guys hear? Did you see what happened to me?
Did not hear.
No,
I got booted. I got booted from the Atlassian creator thing.
What?
The room, the little space that they're in the booth.
Talk
Why'd you
about
get
last
booed
year
from,
or this year?
No, this year. You know how we signed up for these 15-minute slots to have like that media room that they're gonna have?
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, I got booted
Why?
because MCB is gonna do an exclusive interview during the time slot that I had. I told Lauren, I was like, and here I thought I was gonna have the opportunity of a lifetime to interview MCB.
See, this
I
is
mean,
you
if you just
didn't
show up,
play
are
this
they going to
right,
say
Alex.
no?
I don't know. I'm gonna have everything.
Alex, you didn't play it right. You know, it's like, okay, I'm willing to give up my slot, but I need a selfie with you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I know.
Play
I
the
gotta
game a
talk, I'm
little.
gonna talk to Lauren. I was gonna go. You know what, Lauren? You guys kind of owe me for this one, so let's we gotta figure something out.
Well, I know that both Scott and Mike, for a change, are going to be at the community leader dinner, which, Alex, you do get to go to. I have confirmed that.
Yes, he does.
I'm already there. Oh, do we gotta dress up for that?
No,
Okay. Should we?
No.
no.
Oh,
I'm. Do you know how many T-shirts I'm bringing to team next week? I've got like, and I have to make sure that I use them.
yeah, you're gonna be Taylor
properly, so,
Swift, right?
Oh, excuse me, Andy. The ambassadors dinner.
There we go. Sorry, our mistake.
You think I'd be used to changing vernacular as much as Atlassian does rebranding, but it still takes me 6 months to change.
We'll be warm with the number of people coming to that dinner.
It was warm last year, and it was just community leaders.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people that come around.
It's always a little bit warm. Although the one difference, last year's restaurant versus this year's restaurant is that last year's restaurant actually had a patio to the outside where you actually take in some outside daylight and temperature and air. This year, not so much, but that's okay.
We'll find time to go outside. I mean, we've got to figure out when we're going to drag Alex to Red Robin.
That is true. I think after the picture from Stu from Revise, Ray are really going to be looking forward to some Red Robin action. She owes me a birthday song too. No matter that it's not my birthday, so.
Looking at it, we are currently over time. New Trello software to Jira Software Importer. I know for this one, I've been asking for this, or I've been asked for this since first time I heard Trello. And that's before Atlassian even acquired them. So about freaking time. Shem, thank you for joining us. We did not expect the episode we got today. As said, it was late breaking news, but something on this level we kind of had to talk about.
Yes. Thank you for coming on, and it was really interesting. Hopefully, we can see you sometime in the community, like when Alex gets his passport. So,
if he gets his passport, I'm dragging him to Jira Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next week, interesting week. Team 24, the Jira Life is going to be making a splash during Team 24. We have 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 live streams.
But live,
and live to YouTube.
But like live, if you want to be in the studio audience, live.
Yep, you can be in
Your
the studio
amigos,
audience.
please show up on YouTube. Please show up in person. We are taking over people's booths for this, so as much as they are happy for, I'd love people to show up and make it worth their while.
You got a group of people just congregating in front of these booths.
That's
you get
the
enough people
goal.
to show up and build a crowd, like everybody's gonna be like, "What's going on over there?"
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, Alex,
everybody
gets the
turn up.
plan.
Oh, I haven't shown it to you, but we will have a bingo.
So
Spoiler.
catch one of us for a bingo card.
In bingo in person or
In person bingo, you gotta take a bunch of selfies. I think like 16 selfies.
Yeah.
Is one of them MCB or Scott?
Dude. No, but people in the room will be in that card.
But yeah,
all right, folks.
Catch us next week. We will be on YouTube. We will be in person. We are hitting it hard. We are probably a little bit crazy, but we are so looking forward to it.
Yes. Be so great. So if you are going this team, hopefully we will see you there. If you're not, hopefully you can pick up what the vibes that we're picking up.
Mm-hmm.
I already feel like I'm gonna get there late, and I'm getting there Sunday morning. Like people are getting there like tomorrow.
I know, but we'll see.
I'm missing out already. It hasn't even started.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Bye, everyone. Hopefully we can poke you in person.
Thank you for listening to the Jira Life. Our hosts are Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy, Nissen. You can find Alex on YouTube at 8Tech Tutorials, and Rodney's blog is found over at thejiraguy.com. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lena Ortiz. You can catch us live as we record this podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira Life. Be sure to join us and our other Jira Amigos of the Peanut Gallery every week to ask your questions, let us know your comments, and just tell us what you're up to. But if you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. We're also available as a podcast over on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen to it and think it deserves a rating, we would very much appreciate it, as it will help others discover the Jira Life. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us.